Greetings and thanks for tuning in today. My name is Dr. Jeanette DeWitt. I'm a doctor of physical therapy and a performance coach. I specialize in medical massage and helping people just feel better, whether it's through your workouts or through your day-to-day. And today I wanted to address one of the most common complaints that I have seen over my 27 plus years as a physical therapist and working with construction workers, athletes, runners, ruckers, you name it, I've probably worked with them. And what I often see is people wake up and they're like, oh, I slept on my neck wrong. And I am here to tell you that I know how to stretch the I slept on my neck wrong muscle, which is the Levator Scapulae muscle. So this muscle, it actually attaches to 1, 2, 3, 4 vertebrae of your upper neck, also known as cervical spine, or C1, 2, 3, and 4. And then those 4 muscles, they actually come down and attach onto your shoulder blade. And as those 4 muscles come down, they actually kind of twist on themselves. And in fact, if you touch back here, a lot of people will notice like, oh, I've got a kink in my neck, I've got this big knot back there. Actually, that might not be a muscle knot. It could be exactly that point where those 4 tendons of that muscle or those 4 muscle fibers come down and flip on themselves, and that point of rotation and twisting is actually what often people feel that is a muscle knot. When if you keep pressing on that, you will actually irritate it. So I've seen some novice physical therapists and novice massage therapists like want to dig in on that, and that is anatomical. That is supposed to be there. So we don't want to be digging with massage either, because digging actually can cause tissue damage. So we don't want to create trauma to the muscle. We actually want to help it not want to guard so much. And when you wake up and you feel like you have slept on your neck wrong, you probably did actually sleep on your neck wrong. You probably were sleeping in a position where, like, stomach sleepers often have this because they've got to be able to breathe. So if they have to breathe, they have to rotate their neck, and then that can create a strain, or it can create like a cramping to that muscle. The other way is if your pillow is too thin and you're sleeping on your side and your head is cocked to the side, that can do that as well. Or if your pillow is too high and your head is cocked the other way. So we want to actually cause that muscle to relax a little bit. And the best way to do that is we do a 3-step progression with that. So first of all, if it's your right side, you turn your head to the left and you look down towards your left shoe. You should feel a stretch at the base of your skull all the way down to your shoulder blade. If you don't, then you can advance to the next part of the progression. So the first part of the progression is very simple. If you already feel a stretch here, that's all you do. You do 30 seconds, making sure you're deep breathing, inhaling and exhaling. I usually say at least 3 breaths if you don't want to count to 30 seconds. Otherwise, it's 30 seconds. And then you come back up out of that. Then you can do the other side as well and do that for 30 seconds. So that is the first progression. If you do not feel a stretch, then we would move on to the more moderate stretch. And we go a little bit deeper with that by applying some overpressure. If you feel a stretch with that, you do not need to advance. You can stay exactly where your comfort zone is. And when that feels like it's easier, then you can advance to this more moderate stretch with a little overpressure. So the good thing is you don't have to learn a different move. You're just going to do the same thing, and you're going to take one hand and give a little overpressure. So make sure you're having good posture, standing up straight, and give a little bit of overpressure. Now you should feel a nice, easy, gentle pull, more so than you did when you weren't applying the overpressure. And then the same rules apply. You do 30 seconds or 3 long, deep breaths, and then you can switch to the other side. Same thing, you would do 30 seconds or 3 good deep breaths with this side. Now, the more aggressive or deeper way to stretch this, so again, the rules for advancement is when you stop feeling a stretch or you feel like you've kind of maxed out on that moderate stretch, then you would advance to the more advanced or deeper stretch. A little bit more aggressive, so you definitely do not want to start with this. But you would look down and give that little overpressure, but now you're going to take your hand and you're actually going to touch that shoulder blade. So by doing this, you're actually kind of pinning the shoulder blade and pinning the muscle a bit, and so that you can get a deeper stretch. Same rules apply. We do 30 seconds or 3 good breaths. And gently come out of that, and then you're going to look to the other side, give overpressure, and bring that hand up so that you're touching that shoulder blade. And 30 seconds and 3 good breaths. And then you gently come out of that. Notice that when I am doing these stretches, that I'm taking it very slow and very gentle. I'm also very strategic on how I add the progression. So if I go down here, I don't feel much of a stretch, then I go to the next level of the stretch and go a little deeper, and then if I still don't feel it, that's when I add the other arm component and get a deeper stretch. And then when I come out, I reverse that process. And the reason I do that, and I want to make a note of that, is muscles, when they are being stretched, you don't want to just like burst out of the stretch. You want to be slow and methodical with that, because that helps the muscle kind of remember that, okay, I was in an elongated position and I want to come out of that so I just don't like recoil and back into my shortened position. That is the key really with any stretch, is you stretch until you start to feel the stretch. When you feel a stretch, that is where you stop, and then you hold for 20 to 30 seconds or 3 good breaths, and then you slowly come back out of it. And then if there's a more advanced version of the stretch, like I showed with this one, then you can move into that very systematically. But that's exactly how you know how to advance your stretches. And then for this particular video and training, I am showing you, if you wake up and you feel like, oh, I slept on my neck wrong, now you know how to fix the I slept on my neck wrong muscle. I hope that you find this helpful. I hope that if you are experiencing any type of neck symptoms, that this stretch helps. If you have questions, you can absolutely reach out to me. Just DM me. This video will go into my YouTube channel, and you can go ahead and make comments in that as well as reach out to me. So thanks a lot, and have a great day.